All right, everybody. So I told you I would be back for a normal DC update today because I had to get that video out talking about the delay of the Batman 2. And I cannot believe just the amount of back and forth that I see on social media about this. And I am happy that there are some people that can see the positive in all of it, but I simply do not, and I don't because of the history of Warner Brothers. I remember going through crap with Superman back in the 80s. We saw them butcher Batman versus Superman. We saw them destroy the Ayer cut, David Ayer's movie. We saw them completely get rid of what Zack Snyder was doing for Justice League and do their own cheesy version of Justice League. And I know their history. And with the movie being delayed for another 2.5 years, that's normal for a sequel if the sequel came out today. Or if the first movie had come out today. But it didn't. It came out 2 years ago, almost exactly 2 years ago. So by the time it gets released, it will have almost been 5 years for their number one seller. Warner Brothers does not know how to manage these properties. They don't know how to manage these properties, and I'm not going to come here and lie to you guys. And so if you're new to my channel, again, I'm going to start mentioning this probably in every video, that you're not coming to a place that's just going to give you unbiased information in regards to DC and Warner Brothers. I know what I like. I am a review channel, and I'm always going to give my commentary on everything that is going on. And the fact is, Warner Brothers is a terrible company, and I hope they get sold. And we're going to take a look at some of the photos that I've grabbed since yesterday's update and talk about a few things here. Right, so the first photo I have for you is both James Gunn and Peter Safran on the set for Superman Legacy, which is now just titled Superman. It's cool to see these guys so happy about what they're doing, but we're going to see if the audience follows them. Now, this was kind of interesting as well. So it says James Gunn News. It says Jennifer Holland confirms summer start for Peacemaker Season 2. And James Gunn said, the source is kind of iffy, but this is true. And he does a laughing face because, I wouldn't be surprised if that is a bot account from him as well. But it says, John Cena shared this on Howard Stern last week. To answer your follow-up questions, yes, we'll be shooting Superman and Peacemaker simultaneously. Yes, I've written all the episodes. But no, in the interest of getting the show out there, I won't be able to direct them all, only some. And yes, Waller's still happening, and Jeremy and Crystal are hard at work writing great stuff. But the schedule was impacted by the strikes, so it'll come after Peacemaker. Okay, so keep that in mind. I'm actually going to take you over to James Gunn's threads here in a few minutes, and we're going to look at some of the stuff that he has been talking about. And so, again, this is all about Gunn. I'm surprised he's not going to be directing all of the episodes, but he does talk about how they'll be shooting Superman and Peacemaker simultaneously. So my guess is that he's probably going to come in to record the back half of the season. That's my guess. All right, so here are some of the things that James Gunn has gone on threads to talk about in regards to Superman. And let's take a look at what he's got here. So the first one does not have to do with Superman. That has to do with music. So it says, James Gunn, news just broke by the trades that the Batman Part 2 is delayed to October 2nd, 2026. Is that true? He said, yes, that's true. So there it is, right from the horse's mouth. Somebody asked, what do you think of subreddits like DCU Leaks? He said, I think they are fans, and I appreciate them. Someone said, I really enjoy how you've been shutting down the false rumor mill during this process. He said, I saw about 10 utterly false rumors this morning, and I was like, I can't even. So Steve G, who plays on Peacemaker, said, soon we start. And James Gunn replied with a Conagoat. That was something I reported. That comment was something I reported on yesterday. He said, somebody asked, did the strikes also affect other projects, like be switched with other projects and stuff in the DCU slate? He said yes, which means some things were probably going to come from others, but other projects that were further along took priority. Now, this was interesting. He said, someone said, think he's confirmed Team Peacemaker will be played by the same people. Not 100% he said that, but it's logical. James Gunn said, I'll say it now, I haven't before. So again, he's just reiterating that he's keeping all of his cast and that Peacemaker is safe, but other people in the DCU are going to change entirely. So he's admitting he's keeping his people. Someone said, okay, wait, I got to ask now. Creature Commandos will be canon, right? If so, when does that take place? Before Superman or after Peacemaker and Waller? He said before Superman. Someone said, is that important, meaning events in Superman will have an impact on Peacemaker Season 2? He said yes, and I reported on that yesterday. Someone asked, will everything in Peacemaker take place after Superman? He said, answering this again to be clear. Peacemaker Season 2 will take place after the events in Superman. He said, is Peacemaker still connected to the DCEU? He said, Season 2 is full DCU, not DCEU. So really, it should be called Season 1. And he said, including Season 1, James Gunn said, Season 1 isn't canon, but no. Someone asked, interesting, originally you said Waller was Peacemaker Season 1.5. Is that still true? And Waller will be some kind of prequel? Or will it now take place after the events of Season 2 of Peacemaker? He said everything in Waller will take place after Peacemaker. I think he means Peacemaker Season 2. Somebody asked him, was Superman going to be part of the DCU or was it separate like the Batman? And he said it was always separate. And that's what I reported in my video from yesterday where he was originally hired to write it as a separate project, but then they decided to make him the head and get rid of everything else. So there you have it. James Gunn on social media talking about his film, and it's all about James Gunn. It is clearly at this stage, and there's no reason why the Batman 2 has to be held off for another 2.5 years. They could have had it going, but they want everything focused on Gunn right now. And the fact that he's the head of the DCU and DC Studios, nothing is safe down there. And if you remember, there was a lot of back and forth with the Batman film with Ben Affleck, and then it eventually got canceled. And so don't be surprised. I tell people, at this stage, there is nothing that is safe with Warner Brothers until we actually have it getting released. Even if it gets filmed, there's no guarantee it's going to get released. And my hope is that here in a month and a half or so that this company and this IP gets sold to somebody who actually cares about these characters. Because it is very clear that they are throwing away their entire audience that they've had up until this point. They want an entirely new audience that doesn't even exist, which to me is a strange way to go about doing your business. They don't care about the hardcore DC fans. They just don't care. All right, guys, so there's my update for the day. I do appreciate all the support. I will be back with further updates this week. We'll see you guys on the next video.